know my hair looks ridiculous, but I'm trying to flip it back this way to see if it makes my bangs look better. Anyways, I told you guys I was gonna do a heart to Hannah. So I got two questions that kind of go together, and the two questions were, are you feeling content with life, and what's the next thing you want to achieve? Also, sorry if the lighting goes in and out. It's like cloudy today, so. I was talking to Jimmy about this the other day. When I was in New York, like looking back on those videos, I seemed a lot more like content. It seemed like. But then when I recall living in New York, the happiest things that I felt were like, I finally made it. I can live on my own. Wow, this is so scary, me not like living together with Jimmy. But I'm also really proud of myself for being able to support myself. So back then, I do remember feeling like a lot of uncertainty and doubt, which is crazy because I look at those vlogs today and like looking back at that time today, and I'm like, why did you feel of those things? Like you did so good. And it's so weird because it's like I still feel like that. I feel even more in Korea actually, because to be honest, I feel a little like jealous of myself in New York, because in New York I felt like work was a little bit more stable and I had done something like on my own. And now I guess I don't feel as confident because my work is not that stable. Like I don't feel like I'm really involved in the like content creator industry, and I think that's where a lot of my discontent stems from. But anyways, the only reason I bring this up is because I'm probably going to be like 10 years from now looking back on these vlogs being like, wow, like you had a really great life and all you could think about was all the things you couldn't have, or all these things that you had to do or you felt like you needed to fulfill. And so, although yes, I do feel like some discontent in like parts of my life, and I do feel like the urge that I need to do something more, I am very actively trying to recognize all these good things in my life and all these things I've achieved compared to like what I wanted or what I had back then. I don't know if that makes sense. Sometimes I just need to convince myself to do a little bit of like a perspective shift. You once talked about considering an open relationship, but as you were also needy, did you ever feel pressure to be the cool girlfriend? Maybe not by Jimmy, but in general. Yes. Jimmy never pressured me to be anything. I will say that I did feel that pressure in the sense of like, if you had expectations or like you wanted certain things from a relationship, it just seemed or looked like, oh, that girl's like too hard to like, you know, be with. And I definitely was like, oh, I don't want to be that girl. I want to be that girl who guys think is like easygoing and chill, whatever, I don't know. So I did do a lot of that. I didn't wear makeup for a long time, even though I actually like was interested in makeup. I just didn't because I felt like I would be seen as one of those high maintenance girls, even though, anyways, I had a really not good perspective on being like a woman in society back then. I definitely did try and just be really chill, which conflicted a lot with what I actually wanted, which was security and to feel loved. My very first boyfriend, the one right before Jimmy, didn't give me the best experience, so I was feeling that neediness was kind of exploding within myself because I was very distrustful and I was very insecure and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it was just like a lot of stuff going on. And as time went on, I think you're asking me about the open relationship. That topic only came up. That like whole needy, I have to be the cool girl part of my life, kind of, I got over it basically. The open relationship thing never came from me feeling like, oh, you know, a cool girl would, you know, try this out. It was never like that. But we only talked about that because we felt like we never had anybody else. We never had a romantic relationship with anybody else. And so maybe there was something missing. Are we missing out from like certain growing, I haven't done my makeup. Are we missing out from like certain growing experiences? because we didn't do that, because we were just happy being with each other. We just had a lot of questions, you know, and I think it's fair that we had a lot of those questions. A lot of people kind of judged us for saying things like that or thinking things like that. Oh, you guys don't know what you have. Like, why would you even think that? If you love someone, like, why would you even think that? And I'm going to say that him and I's relationship is unique in the sense that we met when we were very young and dated without a break. Sorry if it's noisy, they're doing construction. But we dated for a really long time, like 12 years before we got married, right? 12 years? But anyways, so I think it's very natural for us to have felt like, oh, did we miss out on these growing experiences or life experiences that all our friends are bonding over and talking about, you know, about their past dating lives and whatever, you know? So for everyone that judged me and him for that, it doesn't bother me anymore because I understand why you think the way you do, but I would encourage you to just see it from somebody else's perspective. Anyways, we never did that. I think we kind of just realized that, you know, that curiosity is just curiosity. We are very happy being with each other, and we're basically just very moved on from that idea. So, how has your relationship with Jimmy changed after getting married? You know, I picked this question because I always told people, oh, you know, it feels like we're just girlfriend and boyfriend, but we just, you know, signed a paper that said we're husband and wife. And it's true, but it's not true. So I feel like now that we are married, I think the changes are mostly between our families. I think that in a sense, they treat us differently because we're husband and wife. I think this is a very traditional way of thinking, but I feel like my parents don't pay attention to me as much. So as a middle child, they didn't really pay that much attention to me as much as my siblings. This is not something that I'm sad about. Also, I'm trying this new blush from M Cosmetics. It's their Pillow Plush blush. It's like this, but it has a puff. But anyways, I think now that we got married, my dad told me, you know, oh, you know, when you get married, that means you're gonna go to your husband's family. The way he said it made me feel like I'm being sold or something. But I think there was a mindset of, now that they're getting married, Hana is going to be taken care of by the Cow family. Jimmy's last name is Cow. And I was so offended. I was like, okay, so I get married and then you just like, what, I'm not a Lee anymore? Obviously that's not what he meant, but they definitely, like, that part of my life feels a lot different. I think even though I say that it's still like Lee family and I'm still there, it doesn't quite feel like that, I guess. What did I just do? I just put this huge dent in my blush, but I guess I just did it on the puff. You know, one thing I do think is funny is that also has changed is if we go out, Jimmy gets hit on a lot, and if he says, I have a wife, the conversation shuts down super fast. If he says I have a girlfriend, because sometimes we still mess up. We've been calling each other girlfriend, boyfriend for like 12 years before we got married, okay? So we're still trying to break the habit. Anyways, if he says I have a girlfriend, the conversation sometimes does not like die down as quickly. So the power that the title wife holds is very strong. Also, this blush is really pretty. I don't know if you guys can see, but I think it's so pretty. I don't know why I decided to start doing my blush. This makeup routine is kind of all over the place. Okay, so I did get a few Korean questions and I usually skip over those. I'm very self-conscious still about my Korean, but I don't want to just like avoid them forever. Anyways, it says, 너무 건강하게 예쁘세요. Thank you. 식단이나 운동 루틴 알려주세요. 솔직히 제가 규칙적인 운동 루틴 없는데 그냥 일주일 4번 웨이트 트레이닝 하고 제가 강아지 2마리 키웠거든요. 그래서 매일매일 1시간, 2시간씩 강아지를 산책시켜요. Strict? I don't know how to say strict, but strict 식당은 따르지 않은데 단백질 많이 먹고 그리고 간식을 많이 먹지 않으려고 노력하고 있어요. 근데 솔직히 제가 살이 많이 안 빠진데 근육이 많이 생긴 것 같아요. 보이나? Do you think efforts change with a long-term relationship? I personally like having a boyfriend who's obsessed with me, like in honeymoon stage, but as relationship becomes more serious, it gets more mundane. Efforts like planning the date go down. Is it normal or not? Sorry, my camera was overheating, so I just did my eyeliner off camera. So I think a common misconception that a lot of people have, and you're totally welcome to disagree with me on this, or on anything for that matter, but I think a lot of people think that once things feel boring, it means that the relationship isn't right. Because if you love someone, then you should feel the in-loveness all the time. And that's just not true in my opinion. And I think this goes for romantic love or friendship love. Like, it just goes for all kinds of relationships. I personally feel like the fun that me and Jimmy have is because we make it fun. And I know when we make it fun, we just have the most fun because we know how to make each other laugh. We know what each other likes. We know each other so well that we can make things fun. That's my opinion for having a long-lasting relationship. I'm trying this new lip color by Vanilla, and it is in the shade Coral Shoe. That's pretty. I think if you have dry lips, which my lips are a little dry right now, they're kind of flaking in the middle. This is not a good product for that. I think if you have very moisturized lips, this would be good. But it's a very matte pencil, so I'm gonna take it off and put on a different one. Okay, so I haven't tried this one yet, but this is from Romand, and it is Zero Velvet Tint number 16, Burny Nude. This looks like more of a fall color, but my God, their like lip products are so good. Okay, anyways, that is all the questions that I'm going to answer. Sorry, I haven't done those in a while, but I'll try to do them more often. Maybe I'll do one with Jimmy if he like is comfortable. He's actually like going through a little transition at work, so I don't know if like he'll have time, but. So how cute is this like dress color? Isn't that so pretty? It's like a watercolor dress. Anyways, I hope that this video was like somewhat helpful or entertaining to watch. I will link, I'm sweating. I will try to link everything that I used down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.